The economy of UAE. The United Arab Emirates Financial Opportunity Score is 76.9, making its economy the 14th freest in the 2021 index. Its general score has expanded by 0.7 points, fundamentally as a result of an improvement in monetary well-being. The United Arab Emirates is positioned first among 14 nations in the Middle East and North Africa area, and its general score is over the provincial and world midpoints. The economy of the United Arab Emirates have kept up. It is remaining among the positions of the generally free this year. Extra monetary opportunity is fundamental, notwithstanding if the public authority is to prevail with regards to broadening away from independence on the hydrocarbons area. Considerable decrease in sponsorship installments would almost certainly raise index market scores for government spending and money-related opportunity. More administrative receptiveness to unfamiliar speculations would likewise be an or more. Its enrollment stifled monetary exhibition lately, part of the way because of cuts in oil yields, as a component of OPEC arrangements, proceeded with corporate rebuilding, marked down government venture and declining land costs. Outer factors likewise incorporate an easing back the worldwide economy, international strains, and more fragile energy interest. Because of the COVID-19 pandemic, GDP development shrunk by 6.6% in 2020, after arriving at 1.7% in 2019, and is relied upon to get 1.3% in 2021 and 2.2% in 2022 IMF, subject to the post-pandemic worldwide monetary recuperation, determination of rising business confidence, financial boost, and higher government and private area ventures identified with the delay of Dubai's Expo 2020. Effect of COVID-19. As of December 1, 2020, 576 passings had been credited to the pandemic in the United Arab Emirates, and the economy was a gauge of decreasing by 6.6% for the year. The United Arab Emirates is an alliance of 7 governments: Abu Dhabi, Ajman, Dubai, Fujairah, Ras Al Khaimah, Sharjah, and Al Quwain. The Federal Supreme Council chooses the President and VP for 5-year terms, and there are no service time restrictions. Abu Dhabi's Sheikh Khalifa Kanister Zayed Al Nahyan has been president since 2004. In July 2020, the UAE consolidated a portion of all government organizations with different specialists and services. The UAE has an open economy with a high for each capita pay and a sizable yearly exchange excess. Oil and gas represent around 30% of GDP. A non-aggression treaty endorsed with Israel in September 2020 should make room for expandable exchange, speculation, mechanical participation, the travel industry, and vital collaboration against Iran, which both the UAE and Israel see as the main danger to provincial security, systems for implementing poverty rights, and unsurprising and reasonable, albeit every emirate builds up its own strategies for land proprietorship. The legal executive isn't free. The court decisions are liable to survey by the political authority. However, law and order are for the most part very much kept up. The UAE is one of the most undegenerated nations in the area. However, nepotism and debasement continue, and the public authority by and large needs straightforwardness. In 2020, the UAE's economy, effectively affected by low oil costs, experienced the results of the COVID-19 pandemic. Oil creation hit a close decade low during the second from the last quarter of 2020, burdening government accounts. Focus economics. The public authority proceeded with its accommodative financial arrangement, setting up broad improvement measures to support the economy. The Central Bank of the UAE dispatched an AED 100 billion through economic support scheme for retail and corporate clients influenced by COVID-19. Abu Dhabi Executive Council declared a financial boost bundle which incorporates distributing AED 3 billion to the SME credit guarantee scheme. And Dubai government dispatched an AED 1.5 billion monetary improvement bundle. EAU official entry. As per the IMF, the public authority shortfall arrived at 9.9% of GDP in 2020, up from 0.8% in 2019, and is conjectured at 5.1% in 2021. The 2021 government financial plan, more modest than the verifiably high past one, presents cuts in spending. The public obligation is low, yet has expanded quickly lately, from 20.9% GDP in 2018 to 36.9% in 2020, as per IMF gauge. The IMF gauges an obligation level of 38.2% GDP in 2021 and 39.6% GDP in 2022. Notwithstanding, UAE's central bank and sovereign abundant support own significant unfamiliar resources, furnishing the country with an enormous liquidity pad. Abu Dhabi holds the world's fourth biggest sovereign abundance asset, and making it a net loan boss at worldwide level. The presentation of a 5% VAT in the UAE in 2018 had provoked a moderate ascent in expansion. Anyway, the nation experienced flattering since 2019. 1.5% in 2020 and indicated by the IMF, mostly because of a proceeded with decrease in lodging costs. The swelling rate should increment to a positive pace of 1.5% in 2021 and 2% in 2022. Antibody rollout, enhancement, and solid business climate will be needs, the Economist Intelligence Unit. Lately, the nation has been attempting to expand its oil subordinate economy, predominantly creating solid monetary and travel industry areas. Abu Dhabi has put resources into elective types of energy creation and the country's first thermal energy plant, Baraka Power Plant, began producing power in August 2020. The UAE has no personal duty and no government-level corporate expense. Diverse corporate assessment rates exist in certain emirates, and a worth-adding charge has been powered since 2018. The general tax rate rises to 0.1% to all-out homegrown pay. Government spending has added up to 30% of complete yield GDP in the course of recent years. The spending shortfalls have found the middle value of 0.3% of GDP. The public obligation is identical to 26.6% of GDP. UAE has cut the expense for business consolidation, bringing down the number of investigations and utilizing a danger-based methodology have made it simpler to manage development licenses. Trade guilds and specialist strikes are disallowed. As per the IMF, the public authority was projected to burn through 1.4% of GDP on sponsorships in 2020. She has four particular economic alliances in power. The exchange-weighted normal levy rate is 4.3%, and 73 non-tariff measures are basically endeavors to pull in more noteworthy unfamiliar speculation proceed. The Bureau has assigned 122 financial exercises across 13 areas as qualified for up to 100% unfamiliar proprietorship. The monetary area is present-day and serious, and the presence of unfamiliar foundations in banking is solid. The UAE has one of the greatest per capita pay levels on the planet and a profoundly evolved government assistance framework. It likewise has probably the most reduced pace of joblessness in the Middle East, while Dubai appreciates the least joblessness level on the planet at around 0.5% and relies vigorously upon unfamiliar labor, over 85% of the labor force. A strategy of emiratization has been dispatched to support the work of the nearby labor force. In any case, the joblessness rate among nationals keep on being significantly high, contrasted with the rate among non-nationals. It fluctuates as indicated by Emirat and is the most elevated in Abu Dhabi.